Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Today's video is going to be a bit longer, but before we get onto the details about Hurricane Alberto, as you could probably tell by the title, I would like to ask you guys the same thing I ask you every day. Can you guess it? Yes, it is about my subscribers. So please consider subscribing to my channel. Please consider liking the video, and as I say every day, helps out a lot. Thank you for that. So Hurricane Alberto is intensifying, and it might be a little bit stronger than we think it is as of now. The GFS is consistent with bringing it down to around, you can see, spinning away and intensifying right before it reaches the coast, 982 millibars, which is fairly strong for a hurricane. Nothing too particular like Hurricane Irma, Category 5 hurricane, nothing of that sort. However, for this early on in the season, I mean, look, it's May 28th and hurricane season starts June 1st, and usually, even though hurricane season starts June 1st, most of the hurricanes come around August, September, October, and some in July, but those are mostly tropical storms. But it has been so hot lately. I mean, today in my area at least it is around 90 degrees. Tomorrow we could get up into the hundreds. So that just goes to show you how hot it is, and the hotter it is, the waters are, the hotter the air is, the hotter the waters are, the hotter the waters are, the better chance for development of a tropical storm. And in our hands we have Tropical Storm Alberto, and you can see passes through. Heavy rain threats has not changed. Flooding concerns, everything that a typical hurricane would bring is on par with this tropical storm. So this tropical storm might actually become a Category 1 hurricane. We're not sure of that. You can see it passes through, and it seems to be traveling quite up north, so it could reach areas like Chicago. So if you live somewhere in the Midwest, look, this is the same hurricane, the same storm, and travels up around the Wednesday, Thursday time frame it's going to be hitting. But that's most likely, the National Weather Service thinks it's going to turn a little bit eastward, then it's going to travel through the Ohio Valley and into Pennsylvania. However, wherever it does, it'll most likely leave quite a bit of rain, and afterwards you can see the pattern remains active. So if you're wondering how much rain is going to fall, let's go to total accumulated precip, and you can see the precip amounts haven't really changed a lot. They have gone down a little bit, but that's still a lot of rain. You could see up to 10-12 inches of rain, which is a lot of rain. Let me just tell you right there, it's a lot of rain. If you never had 6 inches of rain at once, then you don't know, but an inch or two at once can lead to major flooding. So now let's go to the National Weather Service. You can see there's just a whole variety of warnings. So let's go right where the landfall will most likely happen. You can see that this is the latest information. It's moving north at 13 miles per hour. It's getting faster and faster because earlier today in the morning it was at 6 miles per hour. Max sustained winds 40 miles per hour, getting stronger. A couple hours ago it was at 1005, and now it's 999. So fairly quickening, starting to deepen, and you could see this is the predicted path of it. And anywhere in this cone is not the center of impacts. It's anywhere the center could go. So if it goes along the most western edge, this could hit areas like Chicago and affect areas like Des Moines. If it goes way over to this eastern half, it could go right over, hit areas like northern Georgia, but impact the whole East Coast. So this is definitely something that we'll need to keep watching where it goes afterwards, because the heavy rains will be with it, and it will take quite a long time for it to weaken, especially if it's going to be stronger than we're currently forecasting it to be. So you can see as of now it is a tropical storm, and you can see there's just a whole array of warnings. Special marine warning, tropical storm warning, high surf warning, flash flood watch. There's just, I can go on and on and on. So let's go to the tropical storm warning. And this one is actually not forecast online. This is, you can see offshore waters forecast for the Gulf of Mexico, and seas 4 to 6 feet, but then later on they increase to 11 to 17, which is massive swells. Don't go boating in those types of seas. They will be, dangerous. And let's see. So south to southwest winds 35 to 35 knots, not per miles per hour. So knots, it's a little bit less, so I would say 45 translates to, I'm not sure, like 50, maybe 60 miles per hour, something along that ballpark. So quite a bit of wind with this system. Let's go back to the warnings and let's say storm surge watch. Let's see what they have to say. So they're showing, let's read this quickly. Storm surge watch issued May 26th. They're basically just listing a lot of things that could get damaged, roadway signs blown over, but that is I don't know why they used blown over if this is storm surge watch, but yeah, potential for 2 to 4 feet above ground. So yesterday it was 2 to 3, now it's 2 to 4. So you know, greater potential for storm greater than 3 feet above ground. So again, like I explained yesterday, if you're standing on a beach that's only elevated, it could be a 50-foot beach from the hotel to the actual beach, like to the actual where the water meets the sand. And if that elevation, angle of elevation, only goes to say 12 inches in height, then the water will leach up all the way to the hotel, because that's how storm surge works. But if it's a sudden drop of 3 feet and it's only 2 feet in length, but it's 3 feet in height, I don't know if you get this, but you just search it up and you'll find better explanation than I could give you. So I would also like to go to Ventusky. This is a great website. This is for Monday. As you can see, this is Monday 1 a.m. This is the GFS, by the way. And the GFS has it strengthening right before it hits the coast. You could see getting more defined of an eye circle. So definitely, and you can see those reds popping up, those purples. And right here, I think, is the peak impact. And the peak strength might be actually at the peak of landfall. So let's zoom in on this. You can see the winds 70, 72, potentially up to 80 miles per hour. This is sustained. So if this reaches above 75, then the Hurricane Center will issue a hurricane warning and cancel the tropical storm watch, because this will be officially a hurricane. Now let's go to wind gusts. Wind gusts should be much higher. Yeah, you can see 85, almost 90. But this is the thing, if you don't know about hurricanes, the center of the eye is very calm. Still, actually, this hurricane doesn't have that big of a defined eye, but usually inside a hurricane, the eye has 0 mile per hour winds. But on the outside and the edges of this are just absolute disaster. So you can see 85, 85, 85 coming right west of Panama City, but this could definitely switch a couple of miles, shift maybe even a couple of 100 miles to, say, Louisiana, Mississippi, or to more inland Florida. So you can see some pretty intense winds going on here. Let's see what the CMC model, the Canadian model, has to say. You can see the Canadian model still has it putting over Florida. More rainfall would be happening for Florida if this were the case. But let's go to see the actual track. I think they're showing it as weaker than the GFS. They're not even, okay. All right, there it is. You could see going right there and spinning. No, it has been making landfall for Louisiana, but the main rainfall is showing that it's going to be spinning counterclockwise, bringing up this moisture into Florida. And you can see just wave after wave of moisture into Florida, but not nearly as strong as the GFS. Which one's right? I don't really know. To be honest, I really don't. That's the thing. It's really hard to determine. That's why we're just going with a tropical storm as of now. Nothing greater, nothing really less, because this is pretty much a perfect description of this. So let's go to the hurricane models. Let's go to HWRF, Tropical Storm Alberto. This is the actual radar of it. So you can see this is out in the Gulf of Mexico. And this, I think, is making, I don't know, wait, hold up. Alright, there it is. That's the coast right there. So you can see the bands of thunderstorms. See in the center, there's like nothing, but on the outside bands, there's just horrendous thunderstorms that could cause flooding issues. And you can see this moves up. Yes, this is already now, if you can't tell, this is southern Indiana. So it could still regain it. It could still remain its strength and retain it, even as it moves up further inland. So definitely, this is still a threat for inland areas. So let's go to 10 mile per hour or 10 meter wind, which is at the surface, how strong the winds are going to be according to this model. You could see not really too strong, surprisingly. Pockets up to 40 to 50, but that is not really widespread. So let's switch models and let's see if the other models are agreeing with this or not. Let's go to the HMON model. Let's see this. Oh, you can see I think this one has a lot stronger winds with this. You can see 60, 80 mile per hour winds with this system, according to the HMON, which usually is more aggressive, but still has it traveling up and a little bit away. This is, if you can't tell, this is Lake Erie, I think, and this is Detroit, Michigan, somewhere around here. This is Ohio, and that is Pennsylvania right there. So this is this just goes to show you that you can see how it differs model to model, so it's really hard to make a decision. Let's go to HWRFP. This one has a more wide view of this, so let's see what it predicts. Again, similar to the HWRF, which is in the same family of models, and it does have traveling in the same pattern as the HMON though. So this is, you can see it's just in a disarray of on agreement, but overall, I do think that the HMON is a little bit more accurate because it has been a bit more accurate forecasting this. I don't think it's going to get as strong as it's showing 970 because that is a Category 2 hurricane, and we definitely don't think that's going to happen, and we don't want that to happen. So we just need to wait and see, guys. That's the thing. So let's see how much, I don't know if they put out on these models how much rainfall. Yeah, they don't. But let's see what the radar and MSLP according to this model is. Let's bring this back. You can see still it's gonna be strong. Wait, I just showed you this. Hold up. Let's go to the HWRF, Alberto. And you can see, even though they're showing a much weaker hurricane, not that much winds, still very strong rainfall amounts or rainfall rates, and it still retains its strength and its spin even as it moves off into the inland areas. There was actually a hurricane 2008, I think it was Hurricane Ike, I'm not sure. It traveled up the same route as this hurricane did. It hit Texas though, and it moved up north. Let me pull up a map. So let's go to GFS, let's go to regions, let's go to Connie West, hit Louisiana somewhere right around here, traveled up perpendicular to the parallel to the Mississippi, and it took a sharp turn. Then it was a stronger hurricane than this one, but it was pretty much what this GFS is doing, but a little bit farther to the east, and it had still spin, and it was spinning counterclockwise, bringing a lot of moisture in, and it flooded areas like Chicago, Illinois, Missouri. And look at this. Hurricane made landfall in Texas, but it still blocked flooding all the way into areas like central Illinois. So just because you don't live by the coast or you're not in a warning area doesn't mean that you should keep your eyes on the radar and keep your eyes on the weather, just in case something does go bad, something does go wrong, and something does happen that was unpredicted. So thank you guys so much for watching. This is basically it. I don't think there's much else to show you. Yeah, I showed you Ventusky up to 80 miles per hour, 85, so that's wind gusts. So this is definitely something we need to watch, and I would actually like to show you this. This is a map of the National Hurricane Center. Atlantic tropical cyclones and disturbances. You can see the subtropical storm Alberto, but I'm not sure if it's still subtropical or it's just a storm. I'm not sure, but they're showing. Okay, so I guess it's still subtropical storm Alberto. Maximum sustained winds 40 miles per hour. Minimum central pressure 999, located at, which is just a little bit west of Cuba. And movement north at 11 knots, which is 13 miles per hour. So you can see this is the basically, if this, once the eye fills in, if it does on this map, it's a hurricane. And I would also like to show you what the National Weather Service thinks in terms of rainfall. You could see this orange, so that's 6 to 10 inches widespread, and I do agree with that. I think that 6 to 10 inches is definitely possible. So probability of tropical storm force winds, and you can see it decreases as we go on, but that's because it has more uncertainty. But 70% or more is, at least 70% is likely across the coast of the United States. So this isn't serious, this isn't something to joke around with, but for now, that's basically all I wanted to show you. And yeah, you could see it's at moderate risk of flash flooding. This is the new thing they put up this year, I think, this Storm Prediction Center. And it's a really cool thing because it just goes to show you not only for severe weather, but also for heavy rainfall. So Thank you guys so much for watching. Please consider liking the video. Please consider subscribing to my channel, and see you guys in the next episode.